Bismillah, in the name of God, and welcome, foodie adventurers and culinary curious, to Destination Morocco podcast. If your travel plans are often guided by your taste buds, and you believe the best way to understand a culture is through its kitchen, then get ready for a feast. Today, we're diving fork first into the incredible, aromatic Moroccan cuisine. From the bustling food stalls to the hidden local eateries, we are going to explore what makes Moroccan food so unique and delicious. And joining us to guide this flavorful journey is our expert guide, Ted, the true connoisseur of Moroccan gastronomy. Welcome back to Destination Morocco podcast, Ted.
Well, I've been a connoisseur since I went to Morocco, which is a great place to discover it for sure. I had no idea. Well, we talked about it maybe a bit, but I really didn't have much idea what tagines were and the other things till, of course, we went to try it, which was pretty amazing. So that's what we're going to chat about today.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, food comes up on all kinds of episodes for sure that we've done. But I don't know if we've done a dedicated episode, so that's just it, really. I mean, unless you know the food already, or unless you've been to Morocco, right, and you have some kind of connection, like maybe it's hard to kind of grasp exactly what is a tagine and what is couscous made from and stuff like that. So, yeah, we thought we'd go over some of those questions. Most of these questions, of course, that you've received from people over the last little while. So we put it all together here in one episode.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, when someone mentions Moroccan cuisine, I mean, yeah, tagine, couscous, things like that often come to mind. So we chatted about that, but, you know, beyond those staples, what are some maybe equally iconic or well-known must-try type dishes that people should look for, should really ask for when they're in Morocco?
Okay, that's a really, really good question, Ted. Just to give you a little bit of numbers. Last year, Moroccan cuisine ranked number 1 internationally, and for the last decade or so, it has always been ranked probably top 5. The Moroccan cuisine is very diverse, but I do agree with you. Tagine and couscous are the most known dishes, and in Morocco, some dishes are more familiar in certain cities or villages or culture or a tribe versus others. So there's so many to try, and again, depending on the occasion, depending on if it's a religious, if it's a celebration. So many things are different and they change depending on the occasion. So,
yeah. Well, I'm going to share my screen here for those who's watching, and if you're listening, we'll do our best to describe it here. But just looking at tagines, I mean, what's the best way to kind of summarize? Would you call it a stew?
It's similar to a stew with a lot less broth, if you would. And again, when we talk about, the sauce or the broth, depending, some people like it almost with no sauce. Some people like it with sauce so they can dip in the bread. And the bread in Morocco, the culture is just, they feed you bread all the time. Anything that we put, it's got to have bread next to it. So these are really, really diverse tagine dishes, if you would, and some are made with chicken, some are made with beef, with lamb, with fish. You can make it with anything you really want, vegetables only, and so forth.
Okay.
And it varies. There's some dishes that are popular again, like in terms of celebration, like with prunes, with almonds as decoration, like the one that you see here.
Here.
That one, yes.
Okay.
So that one looks like, it's with apricot and prunes.
I see. Yeah.
It's really, really nice. And then next to it, yes, and you can see it. It is chicken. It's made,
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it in the title. With prunes and apricot. Yes, it's really, really good. And it's very tasty. This can be just a regular day tagine, or it can be an occasion. And
that's a good question. Like, are these special occasion type dishes or every day?
They can be, absolutely. They can be in terms of celebration. Some people, you can see there's a little bit of decoration or garnish in terms of cilantro. I see it on top. And then some will add, just roasted peeled almonds on top of it. And some will add as well raisins.
All right.
So, yeah. So those are just garnishes. And when you look at the next to it on the left-hand side, that's a couscous. The same tagine that you just showed. Yeah, that one it's a vegetable tagine. This is very traditional, and you can see it has kind of brown olives, but it shows here that it's beef.
Big slices
So
of vegetables.
the beef or the lamb is going to be basically underneath the vegetables. So this is more like for maybe 3 people, you know.
Here's a good one too. This is vegetarian.
Yes, and then it depends on the city. Sometimes the culture of the city, they have certain type of vegetables. It's very popular, especially in Fez. They say the 7 vegetables, which means it's very diverse. There's a lot of vegetables, like as you can see here. There's carrots is a must, and then you can see zucchini, squash, the red squash. They have eggplant in it. Olives is common. So it's really
And what kind
delicious.
of sauce is going on these?
The sauce comes from the ingredients of, let's say, if pull up any tagine.
Here's the tagine chicken one.
So this is a chicken tagine. This is the regular tagine, and it looks like, maybe, I don't know if that's looks kind of greenish. I'm not sure what that is.
There's broccoli in there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I've never seen broccoli in tagine. But then again, you can make it your own, and whatever fits. Just you can have it. Normally there'll be onions. Sometimes there'll be garlic, maybe not. But then the spices, you add the salt and pepper, the cumin, the ginger.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they use dry parsley or fresh parsley. Cilantro, sometimes, as we saw it can be used as a garnish. It can also be chopped up really, really thin inside the dish. And then with water, paprika, then, some, hot sauce, not really hot sauce, but if hot peppers as well. And it depends. The ones that you use, there's some just regular green ones. In the US, those are available, or you can do jalapenos. So it depends on your flavor, really. So that's what really makes the sauce, and then you steam it and until it gets a little bit brownish, and just add whatever you need to add to it, because certain things in the tagine, they cook in different times. So sometimes you add everything all at once, cook it in low heat, and sometimes you need to add for example, potatoes first, and then afterwards you add something else, because they cook in different times. So
now, as far as cooking, and is it fair to say that this is what makes it a tagine? It's the pot that it's cooked in and the way that cooks it?
100%. This is, if you look at this pot here, it's very unusual. We're gonna
Find a different one.
Yeah, find a different one. Look at the one on top with the teapot. Yep, that one.
Here, yeah, okay.
Yes. So this is more like a traditional tagine, and you can see this one. I see some olives. I see some lemon wedges, maybe chicken. So, but normally this is what you would cook it, and again, you cover it and you put it on lower heat, and that's the best way to cook a tagine, and cook it for a couple hours. Because it's slowly cooked. It's steamed, everything, all the meat, whatever it's beef or chicken, it stays juicy and very, very flavorful. That's a really good picture as well.
Now, remember the thing you said a while back about how the ones you cook with have a hole and the decorative ones don't? Is that right? Yes,
that's right. Yeah, because I remember that incident that we had with one of the guests.
Yeah.
She was eating at the restaurant, and the waitress out of the blue just said, "Hey, that stuff that you bought is fake," for no reason or evidence, and she panicked. But anyways, so most of the tagines that you will get here in the US, they are for cooking. Most of them. And you can see, when you look at the lid of this tagine, when you lift it up, towards the end of it, or the top, you're going to see a small opening. Yeah. And that's where the steam, leaves.
Okay. So the steam doesn't come out the hole in the middle. It's this little hole kind of halfway down on the side.
It's actually close to where you have, right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the steam comes out. Right. And it's very slow. Steam cooker, if you would. Yeah, very low heat. And the ones that are just for decoration, they'll be looking just like this, or some are really, really fancy with a different, ceramic made and different clay, if you would. But then they will not have that opening on top, which means that you cannot really put it in the oven or cook with it. However, you can still serve food in it, and it's still just perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the only difference. You cannot put it into a hot oven or a stove, but you can still serve the food. Even the food is hot, you could still do it. If it's cold or salads, that's fine too.
Yeah. I saw a picture of some nice couscous here. Maybe this is a good one.
That's
That's some
quinoa. I
That's
think
quinoa.
it
Yeah,
looks like,
that's
yeah.
kind
It
of
says couscous, but yeah, it is
maybe.
couscous. That one is couscous. Couscous, it can be made, in vegetables. And again, it's completely up to you in terms of the vegetables. Normally there's carrots, eggplant, and there's different type of eggplant and different cuts of eggplant. Some they just use the small eggplant as a whole, and some they just cut it into small pieces if the eggplant is big. Then you have the zucchinis. Then you have, you can do zucchini, you can do red squash. You can do so many veggies. It's completely up to you. And there's
Yeah.
a different way of making the traditional Moroccan couscous versus, just regular cooking.
Now, are there
So
different types of couscous in the sense there's different types of rice? White rice, brown rice, and all
that
that.
is, yes, you're absolutely right. That's a really, really good question. There's just regular couscous, which is just, but then there's couscous that is made out of wheat grains, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. The texture is different. The look is different. It looks a little bit more brownish, darker color versus the lighter color or
Yeah.
the regular couscous. The taste is different. So if you look at this one, you see this one it has cabbage, and cabbage is really, really
Yeah.
popular as well. So the one next to it in front of us, that looks like carrot, and then you can see some chickpeas next to it in between those two.
Oh, yeah.
There's a chickpea. Then this is forgot the name in English, but the next to it is the eggplant. That's what I was talking about. Yes, and then on top you can see the zucchinis. You can see all kind of things, and the meat as well.
Yeah, it's
Well, this one it
underneath there.
says 7 vegetables. So yeah, which is really, really nice. So this one is just regular couscous. It's not the wheat couscous or the barley. This one will be kind of smooth, if you would.
Okay.
The other one is kind of a little bit. You can feel it's very different. Probably a little bit
Texture?
texture. Yes, a little bit dry, a little bit harder. So, but this
And
is
what's
the most
like
popular.
regular couscous made from?
Let me see. Somolina.
Oh, spirulina, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is that it?
Melina. I
Somolina.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, so let's talk about spices too. Spices and aromas. Are there essential spices that define Moroccan cooking? Are there spices that only appear, if you know, in Moroccan cooking? We can find some of those.
That's a really good question. That question really changed, I would say, in the last few years, because there's a certain formula that say, hey, this what goes with this what goes with the fish, this what goes with the beef,
Okay.
this what goes with the chicken. But now it doesn't really matter. It's up to you in terms of the flavor. But then you have the staples, obviously, salt, pepper, cumin is definitely a must in a lot of the dishes. Ginger as well, saffron is definitely a must. Paprika, or back home we don't call it really paprika, but it has a different name, but that's the equivalent to it. And sometimes we do, if you like it spicy, then we just add something spicy, like a spicy pepper, if you would.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, when you see something like this maybe is more of a North American thing, but still, they talk about, I've seen this a lot, you get your Moroccan spice rub or something. Do you know generally offhand what spices would be in that?
I honestly wouldn't.
Because it's different everywhere,
Yeah, it's
depending
different.
who's put it together.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's
different. Yeah, you're right. So, and again, if it's for meat, if it's for chicken,
Okay.
it's different. But then if you look at this list on the right-hand side, that's really good.
So here's a good list. We've got brown or coconut sugar, paprika, cumin, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, salt,
Yes.
pepper, and cayenne. And of course, they're all ground up.
Yes.
So, you're not using a full clove. You're using the
Yes.
clove that's ground up.
Yeah.
As
The
an
the
example.
brown and coconut sugar, that's very rare. It depends what you're using it for, but it's not really common in terms of daily use. So the rest of it is very accurate. Yes.
Interesting. So what kind of flavors should people look for? What's that? Is there a distinct flavor, to Moroccan food, to maybe your average tagine, that makes it really stand out?
It's the mixture of the spices, the amount that it's mixed. Just like a bartender, you have to have your the right amount of everything. You don't want to have one spice too much of it overpowering the other spices, and that's what makes the flavor really, really tasty. And also the way of cooking it, because when you're cooking, you want to give it its time. There's a process. For example, with the chicken, if we take an example of the chicken, it's ideal to have it at least completely cleaned and marinated for a minimum of 24 hours. So you let it sit in all those spices, so it absorbs all those ingredients. The other thing that we forgot is lemon juice. Lemon juice, especially with the chicken, and then you have as decoration, and also it adds to the flavor, which is the lemon peel, which is preserved lemon peel, which is very, very flavorful. And that takes a couple of months, with the process, how to make it to have a really, really nice lemon peels to add to your dish. So again, it's the way that you cook it. Sometimes saffron is a must because it adds to the flavor. Sometimes it's not needed, depending on the dish that you're making, and it does make a huge difference. So
yeah, for sure. Interesting.
Are you looking for a personalized Moroccan experience? Merhaba, and welcome to Destinations Morocco. I am your host, Azdean al-Mustaki. Our family-run company crafts private and small group tours to my beautiful homeland. We encourage you to choose your own adventure. Let us know what you would like to see, what you would like to do, and how you would like to experience it. We put together a tour based on your interests and priorities. The podcast is here to help you find ideas and inspirations. Let us plan your perfect Moroccan tour. Schedule a free 30-minute discovery call today at destinationsmorocco.com.
Now, I'm going to bring this up. Harira soup.
Yes.
Do you have to ask for it, really? Because if I remember, they pretty much serve it all the time. So what is Harira, and where can people expect to get it?
Okay, that's a really good question, Ted. If you can pull one up so the audience can see it, and there are really different pictures here.
Yeah, maybe this one
that
here.
one is
It's
a
got
good one.
chickpeas,
Yes.
lentils.
So this one, it's not gonna normally look like this, but if you ask me, this soup, the bowl of soup, was just picked up all the way from the bottom of the jar, if you would, because it's supposed to be very juicy. Like running, like that one. The reason because I wanted you to show this, because it's very important. This is more like it. You can still see the chickpeas. You can still see, forgot the name of sharia, and it's garnished with. Some people they garnish it with the lemon wedge on the side, and now it's very popular. This one Harira is very specific to Ramadan. That's what it's served when you go to houses or somebody invites you. It's a staple. It's a must. It's in all the tables when it's the time to break their fast. So this is what we call Harira Ramadan, or Harira for Ramadan, because it is specific to the Ramadan period of every year. Now, it depends on the city with the culture and everything. Now it is served outside Ramadan almost every day, and in a lot of places they serve it in dinners. Like when you go to a coffee shop, you can order Harira and they'll serve it to you just like this. Some will have a lemon wedge to the side, depending where what city you're in, if it's Chefchaouen, and if it's Agadir, if it's Marrakesh. And some will have a boiled egg next to it. And as you can see here, this is really accurate. It was a date and some halwa shibakia. That's So you can see the date on the right hand side. And then next to it,
the sesame dessert.
Yes. And the shibakia, again, these are all Ramadan sweets, if you would. And again, this is a perfect example right here. Depending on the region, you can see it shows this is a lentil soup, but it's very, if the Harira, the Ramadan Harira were served, you can see the lemon wedge. You can see here some figs, dry figs. And then the next to it, you can see a half boiled egg as well. And again, it depends on the region when you're getting it, the market, the street food. So it's served in different ways. So this one looks a little different, but again, you can see the lentils, you can see the garnish, the cilantro, but it's not juicy. Because I say juicy or not juicy because it is supposed to have more juice than
Right.
Everything you see here is supposed to be into the bottom of the soup. So
Oh yeah, it does seem a lot thicker.
yeah, it's a lot thicker.
But the point is that you can get it year round, right?
Yes, absolutely yes.
And if you want to here's a question, can you do kind of a Harira food tour in the sense of sampling different types of it, right, in different cities?
That's a good question. Yes, you can do. This is very interesting because we did this one in Marrakesh, and it can be done in literally all the major cities. Fes is highly recommended as well. The food tasting tour, and there's three types. There's one that you do in the morning, there's one that you do during lunch, and there's one that you do late afternoon, and it extends to around maybe 9-10 p.m. and it's considered dinner. So when you do the one in breakfast, a lot of people will not do this one because their breakfast is already included at the Riyadh or the hotel. So we rarely do those. But they are breakfast tours, and they'll take you to the Medina, the old downtown, whether it's in Fes, whether it's in Chefchaouen, whether it's in Marrakesh, and you'll see the dishes that are normally associated with Moroccan breakfast. You'll see the eggs in the tagine, you'll see the delicacies that we serve, and you really have to have a tough stomach for those type of things. Then you see bisara, which is really, really good as well. And olive oil and black olives. Then you see the honey. We serve honey quite a bit in breakfast. Yeah. Simmen as well. So there's a lot of dishes that includes in the breakfast tour, and you could just sample from place to place to place, and each place has its own specific dish that they are really known for, they are really good at. So and that should take, I would say, maybe 2.5 hours or so. This is for the breakfast. So you're just going from stall to stall and place to place and sampling the breakfast menu, if you would. Then the one for lunch, it is popular as well. And then you do the same thing, but it's going to be a lunch menu. And again, it depends on how strong your stomach is. There are going to be a lot of delicacies. May not be for everyone, but you'll have your couscous, you'll have your tagine, you'll have the beef, the lamb, and a lot of delicacies. If you want to taste them, you can. If not, you just skip them. Then the dinner, which is good as well. I like the dinner because, and we did it in square, Jemaa el-Fnaa square, because you see the change in the square. Jemaa el-Fnaa becomes alive depending on the time of the day, the year, right before the sunset. I mean, we started, I think, around 5 o'clock, and that's when everybody started to get ready, in terms of the performance in the square, in terms of the stalls in the square. They start setting up their little shops and stuff. And it was very interesting, and it was absolutely worth it and recommended. Yeah, and then we ended up at a place where we had the Harira as well. And you can see it in some of the posts that we have with our guide Ahmed. He did a really, really good job with the Simmen as well. So it's, in terms of food tasting tours, they're really, really popular and highly recommended.
Neat. Now that leads into street food. So how can people sample street food safely and deliciously too? But
that's a really
safely.
Good question. I'll speak a little bit more about Marrakesh.
Sure.
I don't want to sound biased, but I am from Marrakesh. Marrakesh has the best street food in the nation right now. And that has changed, I would say, in the last decade. The street food in Marrakesh was terrible growing up. You eat it if you don't have really good, strong stomach, even for locals. It will get you sick. If you don't go to the square and eat in the square almost once a month or so, that food will make you sick. The taste was terrible, but tourism being very big in Morocco and so many changes and restrictions, now I highly recommend the street food in Marrakesh, especially Jemaa el-Fnaa, because it's very safe. It's really, really good. It has changed completely into the best possible way for me, because I remember, having chicken, comparing it to what we have at home, there's no comparison in terms of, tenderness and juiciness, even texture, flavor. Just it's completely different. Now it's definitely worth it, and I highly recommend it. When you look at street food, definitely Fes. Each city has its own amazing street food. We've had it in Tangier, we've had it in Essaouira, in Fes, Chefchaouen. It's really, really, really incredible. Now, the only advantage that Marrakesh has is the square, and they have literally everything in one place. But then there's other street food everywhere else you go in Marrakesh, but Jemaa el-Fnaa, if you would, is really the hub for street food, and it's very diverse. That anything you can think of, and they eat all parts of the animal. Nothing really goes to waste, if you would. And that's when we talk about delicacies, and again, it's not for everyone. So,
well, how do you know that it's safe and that they're following hygienic stuff? Yeah.
Because they have doctors, they have checkups all the time. Also, the local. Let's say when you look at Jemaa el-Fnaa, it's the whole square is under camera. Then the police station is right there, so just a few steps away. Tourists are very important to Morocco. Again, if we look at the numbers last year, 17.4 million visited Morocco. Now we are in almost the holiday season, and that number has been surpassed already. So when we talk about travel, in terms of tourism in Morocco, this is the best year ever in terms of numbers in Morocco. So it's pretty big. And then we have we're going to be hosting the African Cup and some tournaments just this month and next month. Then you have December and January. So it's very important. So, and the violations are you can lose your license. So nobody wants to take that chance.
Like if their food isn't safe?
Yeah, if their food isn't safe, you'll get a penalty, then you need to leave that spot for somebody else.
Sure.
Yeah.
So do they have inspectors that come to food stalls?
They do have inspectors, just like secret shoppers. They do have inspectors, and they just don't inspect just the food, but also make sure that everybody's charged the right amount. Because I remember we talked about it a couple years ago. It was a couple from England visited Morocco, and they ate just something normally would cost probably $20 for dinner, but they were handed a bill of $500. They didn't say anything. They just paid it and took the receipts. They just walked to the police station, and that guy just in deep trouble. So it's they're very serious when it comes to tourists in Morocco.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, last thing I want to cover here, at least in this episode, we can certainly do lots more about food, I'm sure, but at least a bit of an overview here. But what about dietary restrictions and allergies? You talk a lot about bread, for instance, but if you're gluten-free, is there any way around that? Or just in general, do they have kind of systems, accommodations in place for people with dietary restrictions, generally speaking?
Yes, they do, and we do get those requests all the time, and we accommodate them all the time. So, and the good thing is, the travelers, they let us know ahead of time. So we make sure in every stop they're served the right food. So there's no sickness, no allergies to anything. If it's gluten-free, if it's just vegetarian dishes and stuff like that, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. And also when you go to restaurants on your own, just ask. Mm-hmm. If you cannot ask right away, just make arrangement. Check with them ahead of time. Say, hey, I'm going to be there in 3 days. Will I be able to find something, vegetarian or gluten-free or, so, or I have allergic to this. Will it be safe for me to eat at your restaurant? So it's always good to check ahead if you're traveling on your own. If you're coming with us, then we do the check-in for you and we make the reservation and booking for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then, more touristy it gets, the more likely they'll speak English. But if you have a guide, they're there to help translate, of course, if that's an issue too.
Absolutely. That's why guides are really, really important on the tour. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good. All right. Well, yeah, that's a good overview. As I say, I'm sure we'll be back talking more about some different kinds of dishes. There's always lots to cover. But yeah, it's a very, very popular topic, and absolutely one of the highlights of Morocco is trying some different foods. So it's one of the best reasons to go.
Thank you. I completely agree. I'm biased.
Yeah. You get to eat it all the time at home, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm very spoiled. I'm very grateful, and it's so funny because I remember coming to the U.S. and one of my neighbors back home, they helped me come to the U.S. actually. So when she invites us and we have couscous, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't think I was gonna have couscous until I go back to Morocco. But it's a really, really nice treat. So it's amazing.
Do you find that you can get fairly accurate, authentic ingredients in Houston where you live?
I would say probably 80%, but we do bring them from back home.
Sure.
Yeah, because the taste is different. And that's a really good question, by the way, Ted. The reason is because here everything it's kind of grinded and pre-made, but back home we don't crush the grains. So we just, crush them. If we need to use for a month or so, we crush that amount needed. But the other thing is, that way it is more fresh. And then we go to, it's kind of a Pakistani indie place. And that's where we get most of the spices here as well, the ones that we need. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, interesting. That's a good point then. If people are interested in doing some Moroccan cooking at home, especially if you've been and you want to replicate.
Yes.
You may not find a Moroccan market per se, but a lot of the East Indian and maybe general African markets, I suppose, could have some of those spices.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. All righty.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we'll be back again with another episode soon, but this has been fun.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on Destination Morocco podcast today. I truly hope this episode brought you a little closer to the heart and soul of Morocco. And remember, the stories and sounds you hear on the podcast are just the beginning. If you're feeling inspired and ready to experience Morocco's incredible culture, breathtaking landscapes, and genuine hospitality firsthand, let Destinations Morocco create your unique, personalized journey. Visit destinationsmorocco.com to explore tour ideas, listen to past episodes, and most importantly, book your free discovery call today and start planning. Until next time, Bislama. Thank you. Goodbye.